Hey everybody, what's up my friends? My name's Leah Selly and I am the developer of the GraffitiEyes line of stencils for face painting. And today I'm going to do a demo for this unicorn butterfly mask. This is a pretty popular design and I've got some butterfly stencils and a unicorn stencil. So everything that you see on here was actually done with stencils. So except for the outline, I did with a paintbrush. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this and try and get through it as quick as possible so it's not too boring. So let's get this camera flipped around so you can see my workstation. Okay, well, let's get this in place. So here's where we're going to be working today. Yeah, you can see I replicated this. I used one of the Sally Ann Lynch practice boards so you can kind of measure it out to make sure it fits really nicely on a face. I did it a couple of different ways. This one's the butterfly wings are going down under the eyes. This one's kind of staying more on top of the forehead. But this is what we're going to be using. I'll show you the products that I'm going to be using these two different stencil kits. This is the new Pets kit, and this is the butterflies. And these are the two stencils I'm going to be using. Each of these kits come with 3 stencils. The butterflies has 3 different butterfly wings with different patterns and shapes in there. They look like, there's this one, it's got stars and some halftones. And also this one that's got a smooth wing. Some little like antenna kind of dingle dangles that you can stick off the bottom of a wing, and another halftone. And this giant scattering of stars, which is really nice. But I decided to go with this one with the bubbles today. And then the pet stencils, also 3 stencils in this kit. We're going to be using the unicorn. It also comes with a cat and a dog, but we're going to stick these aside because we're not using them. So this is what we're going to be doing, and I also just kind of want to shout out there really quickly that today is going to be, it's Cyber Monday today, so I've decided to keep my little Black Friday sale going. Orders over $70 get free shipping worldwide all over planet Earth. So if you want to grab these 2 kits and throw in something else, you're going to get a good deal. So let's stick these over here, maybe, I don't know. Try and keep them in the shot a little bit just for if people are joining in late to see. Okay, so let me grab my little black card. I like painting on these for the demos because they show up really well. And I'm going to start by, the way I get a really nice transfer is that I spray my sponge a couple of times and then I rub my, I swipe my sponge on my cake here until my paint in the cake looks dry. And that way I know I'm going to get a really nice transfer. And I'm going to go for like super bright colors for this. And because I always tell people that painting on paper is a really good way to practice, because the same level of wetness that you need on paper is the same that you need for getting a good transfer on skin. Make sure that this is really straight. You guys can see well. Okay, so to do this design, let's stick her back in the shot here. We're going to paint the wings first because we want the unicorn to be on top, right? So we'll line up our little wings here. We're going to put it kind of like on a little bit of an angle. If you've ever been to any of my classes, I always demo these wings because they're really great training tools. If you struggle with butterflies, and butterflies are such a super popular, they're such a super popular, you know, design for that kids want. Basically, it's like Spider-Man, butterfly, tiger. If you can do those, you can be a face painter. But when you're first learning how to face paint, sometimes it's a bit of a struggle figuring out getting the right size on these butterflies. When I'm working really fast and I need to flip the wing to get to the other side, a lot of times I just go like this. I just rub it off on a paper towel at my station and I'm good to go. So I'll go like that. Now I want to make sure that there's enough space between my 2 wings that my unicorn fits in there really nicely. So what I'm going to do is just create like kind of like a little cheat for myself. And the other thing too, if you look, I want to have this angled going downwards so that if you see here with the eyes, you want to create, I mean, if you take a lot of face painting classes, you'll know that they try and want this focal point and they want this flow of this X. So you kind of want your unicorn's head being angled down. Do you see how that kind of lines up like that? So use this wing as kind of a measuring rule and tip your head downwards instead of going flat, straight face in. Tip her down a little bit like that. Now you're going to have the hair kind of blowing out over the edge too, so you don't want to have it moved over too much. Take into consideration her hair is going to be going over the edge. But this is just a bunch of little tricks so you guys get a good design. So do you see how I'm looking at this wing here and I'm looking at her head? If you just tip it a bit so that her jawline, I guess, is kind of flowing with that same wing kind of shape. And then you want this to be kind of tipping down towards over the bridge of the nose. So I'm just gonna like, whoops, that was kind of wet. Put a little bit of a guide. Not a big transfer. I just want to do that so I know where to stick my wing because I want her face to be overlapping the wing so it looks like she's in front of it. Does that make sense? Okay. So let's line this up. We're going to put this tip to this tip, line that up nicely. And then the other thing that looks nice too, I thought, was where you're placing the horn so that it's not in competition with the painting so much. So we'll see if I still have enough paint on my sponge here after talking so much, if it's dried out or not. I'll line this up. On big shapes, you're always wanting to grab, yeah, I got to put a little more paint on there. Hold up. Hold up. All this teaching, I'm trying to get you guys, I'm trying to do like, not just show it, because I could just sit here and paint for you guys, but I want to try and teach at the same time so you guys can have all kinds of tricks. When you're dealing with big spaces, if you go from the outside edge and rub towards the center, that way you'll higher likelihood of getting a really nice transfer. Hold on. More liquid. Okay. Get that on there. I've been getting in the habit of putting a little white down first, and I didn't do that with this, so it'll give it a little bit different kind of brilliance of orange and pink on this black background. But there we go. I think we got a nice little transfer there. Yep. And then now let's get her body on for real. So once again, spray our sponge, grab enough white here till this looks dry, put her body on. Okay, want that tipped. Again, it's a big space, so we're going to grab from the outside going in. To get a really nice transfer. Okay. Yay, looks great. Next, let's do her hair. Now, or let's fill in some of this here actually. Let's put in some dots on here. So on my butterfly stencils, I've got different kinds of fills here, and I wanted to use these little bubbles. So let's grab a color. We'll do some purple. Purple will look nice. White would look nice. But we got a white unicorn. So we'll just do some purple. So once again, these guys all fit really nicely inside these wings. So let's see, we'll just move them around until we find a little position that we like. How about like that? Kind of cascades down nicely right there. Always do a little test spot. And this kind of thing looks so good if you stick, before you lift this stencil off, if you stick some glitter in there. I got glitter here. paper, excuse me, on paper it doesn't stick so great. On skin it sticks really great. But that looks pretty super magical when you're doing it on a kid or on skin. Because then you're getting these perfect little glittery circles on there. Anyways, I like these little dots. They're like, they work really good too if you're going to paint like any kind of little mermaid scene, underwater scenes, because they really are kind of like bubbles, you know what I mean? But they look really cute on wings. I'll just rotate it around a little so it doesn't look like a repeating pattern. Stick some glitter in there. Plus, I kind of like sticking glitter in just little stencil elements because then it's not like so much glitter, you know, everywhere. Let's see how this is looking through the camera. Looking good. Get rid of my glitter out of the way. Okay, so that's looking like a party. Let's stick her hair on now, like I said I was, because I wanted to make sure that the hair would kind of go over top. So let's do, I have teal hair in this demo because I thought teal and orange were, well, I mean, blue and orange are opposites, right? So I figured it would make a nice kind of a nice pop in color, having the opposites there. So I got some teal, and I really want this to look really teal. So I'm just going to help myself out a bit and put a little bit of white down first. So I'm going to line it up. Now when I line it up, I want to make sure that my hair is kind of overlapping outside of there. So I'm not worried about her face so much this time, because if you check it out, I'm going to put like all kinds of extra hair around. And then I'll line up her face afterwards. So I kind of want to pull that down like that. Like I said, I'm just doing this extra white here because I want there to be more of an even color across the orange, across the white, across the black of the paper. Makes sense? Sometimes the unicorn's hair being glittery looks nice. I don't tend to glitter like too many spaces, you know, and kind of pick one. So do a glittery hair, or do glittery beads in her hair, or do the glitter on the wings, you know what I mean? Like, just try and like go take it easy and pick a couple. So that's looking pretty good. So let's bring her hair down more, because like on here, if you see on this wing, you can bring it down more over the bridge of the nose and it'll look really pretty. So what we do is, get some more white on there, is we're just going to maneuver this hair around and pull it down like that, make it dramatic. See, I can kind of line up my stencil here, and so it's hitting this other hair. Just put that on the black zone. Ah, talk so much. My paint's running out, drying up. Okay. Okay, that looks nice. You can see how it's kind of flowing around. And then you can bring some hair like on the other side of her, so it looks like her mane is like, you know, waving in the wind. Waving in the wind? I don't know. It looks like she's like more flowy action happening. How's that? And I'm just squeezing my sponge. See how tiny I'm squeezing my sponge? So that I can kind of manipulate in around there. What do you guys think of that? It looks nice. You could throw this extra curl. You can like even rotate it the other way and throw the curl down in there. Get a bunch of curls. Now, I liked the idea of her having kind of like this breastplate collar power necklace. So you can just paint one of those on like that. It just adds a little something extra. You don't have to, but it looks cool. Okay, now we're ready to stick her face on. We're going to use some black for that. Just line it up. A good way to use it is this little dent here matches her ear, and you kind of want to line it up with that little smile there. do a little test spot, make sure it's not too wet, because with these little tiny kind of areas where you got little tiny eyelashes and the cheek line and all that kind of stuff, you really want to make sure that you are pushing and wiggling in there. So you really don't want to have your paint too wet. That looks pretty. Let's do her horn. We'll get some super bright yellow. And what I'll do is that little trick of laying down some white again first, because I got some super bright yellow here. I want to lay down that white first so that this bright yellow really shows up super bright yellow. Now here's her horn. We're going to just line it up there. That way I don't have to compete with the teal when I'm trying to do this. The other thing, the horn looks especially magical if you throw a little glitter on. Ooh, so let's throw this glitter on her horn. Because that, I mean, if there's one place you want to throw some magic on, it might as well be on the horn, right? So lift this stencil up. Yay, looking good. I got beads for her hair. Let's make the beads something magical, like a color called pink. No, I got pink on there. Well, pink. What else can I use even? I got green. I'm trying to use like every color in this demo. I don't know. We'll use green beads. Why not? Again, we'll throw some, she's got little beads for her bangs, and then she's got beads down here. So we'll throw some white. I like the beads. I mean, you could even just do white beads too. I like the beads because who has time to even paint this kind of a thing, you know, like sticking beads on like that. The beads look good with a little bit of glitter. Got a little green glitter there. Okay, what else can we do here? I guess in this one there's all kinds of extra decorations around the edge. So we'll just use our same stencil. This guy here, and we got these decorations, and we got these decorations. So this little bit here lines up nicely with the horn. It's kind of like a little bit angled like that. So we'll stick these guys on. And I got all these extra colors on my sponges right now, so I might as well just use all these extra colors on my sponges for kind of highlighting all this stuff. Let's see, I got hearts over here. I'm kind of swinging around in a nice little motion. Let's see. I won't pick up that one because I'll tip these other guys down around closer to her. How would it look if I did it this way? Kind of traveling away from her. Let's try that actually. Because then it would kind of keep that flow of that X that I was talking about, right? So people are kind of like, how do you do this when you are on the job and knowing? It's just like, it's just knowing and practicing your designs at home beforehand. So then you're not wasting time kind of going, oh this, oh that, you know, that way you know right away, oh, you want a unicorn butterfly? I'm going to grab this stencil and that stencil. And I always have like stencils kind of out, you know, like that I know I'm going to be using on the job that day. And having practiced them over and over again, then I kind of know. Let's stick it around this way now. Right, over here. Then I kind of know exactly what stencils to grab when to use them. And then I'm using them too, and I'm not just like buying all these stencils and never using them. Because, I mean, that's a huge reason why I'm making these videos, is because I teach all these classes and people get excited for the stencils, they buy them, and then they don't use them so much. And it's kind of like, meh, that's not the point. We'll stick another little star just up above her ear. Right, that looks nice. Yeah, that's probably enough. Now we can just outline, and I can show you how to outline it. And even if you're in a giant hurry, hair in my mouth here, even if you're in a giant hurry, you don't really need to outline stuff so much. This works really great with airbrush. I'm just going to take a darker yellow and stick it in between her horn there, because that looks nice. Yeah. This is a little #2 brush that I use. Her ear, you can stick a little bit of pink in there. Boy, it's early in the morning. My hand needs to wake up here for painting. Okay. Okay, hand, wake up. Fine motor skills first thing in the morning. I kind of like outlining her hair because you can have fun playing with where you want the curls to be and stuff like that. You can exaggerate them depending on like where you've put them. That's her little breastplate, curls. Let's do her. Right, her little jawline. Connect that mouth. So you're just connecting the mouth around there. That's how you know where to draw that mouth outline. A little curl for her hair. And then her horn. I'm just outlining it. It's pretty simple, right? You want to put a dot in her eye. So if you're going to load up some colors for highlights, highlights are great. When I first started face painting, I never even thought to do highlights, and it really takes no time to load up your brush and chuck on a couple highlights. First of all, we'll start with a little, that's her soul. Makes the whole thing kind of come alive more. Since I got a nice round load, you can stick a couple of dots on there. You can stick a couple highlights on her horn, just along the top, little half circles, right? I got nice round load here. I can put little highlights on all these beads. I can outline these little beads too. Put a little half outline under them. It looks pretty. The wings. This is a pretty small brush, but you can have fun with these wings. You don't have to follow the it completely. You can kind of change up the shape. But like I mentioned, these wings are a great training tool because like once you put them on the face once, you're like, oh my goodness. Butterfly wings are actually quite tiny because sometimes they get out of control, especially when you're first learning how to face paint. The butterfly wings can get kind of out of control, like with the hugeness size factor. The hugeness size factor. Stenciling on paper is the same as skin, but using a paintbrush, your paint has to be a lot wetter. So this part here takes a lot longer than doing it on. Oops, I just put my paintbrush in the black. I wasn't thinking. Okay, hold on. Almost done here, guys. A little white outline around stuff makes it look a lot more cartoony too. It'll make your stuff really pop and look really good. When I stenciled on these beads, it looks like I wiggled my stencil a little from when I did the white to when I did the blue or the green beads on top. And that can actually work to my benefit because if I outline them with, or just not even outline, it's just like hitting it really quick in a little half circle. It gives, it'll give the beads like even more depth and dimension. So they're just little rough half circles. Ugh, come on. Enough water on here already. The struggle is real. Let's go. Okay. You can see these beads really pop out now more with a little half circle. And I mean, like, I'm doing that so fast. That's not even a perfect little half circle. It's like so fast, but it adds everything. Everything. It's everything, right? If you want to go even more, you can mix a little white with the same color teal that you used for her hair. And you can put a couple little highlights along the edge. You can fill in little zones where you wanted to make the curl a little bit bigger or more pronounced. All right. And I always encourage people, like, if you're not in a rush, and especially if you're doing like a paper face or something like that, then really you kind of want to keep the kid in the chair a little extra longer, as long, you know, if the parents aren't in a rush and all that kind of stuff, because then you can attract a better crowd, because they'll be like, what's going on over there, you know? So again, adding highlights and some extra shading can really be into your benefit. This is just more highlights, kind of make stuff pop. Anyways, there we go. The other thing is adding some kind of like glitter gel on the outside of your designs or in their hair. That stuff works really, really nicely. I really like using that. And I'm going to show you guys one extra little trick that I discovered. I was just fooling around, and I did this because I had extra paint on my dauber, my finger dauber, and I loaded a dauber so it had like some white and some yellow like that, and I had some glitter down, some of this glitter. I'm just tapping my finger in here, doing a little finger painting. But if you paint on top of this glitter, it actually looks really good. We'll see how this shows up on camera, I'm not sure, but it's really nice. Okay, take this guy, and then you can do a little squiggly circle. You just kind of press and turn it a little, so you kind of got a highlight on one side and a thing on the other, and then you've actually kind of spun your glitter out to the side, just pushed it to the side. Then you can draw, paint a little starburst inside these circles, and it looks really stinking magical. Super magic. So let's start over here, maybe. One of these kind of little starbursts like that, and you can like add some little ding ding like that. I don't know, there's something kind of outer spacey about these little particular circly starburst things that I really like. And it's a great way to fill up space, and getting a perfect little symmetrical circle like that looks really cute and just magical, right? That's kind of what we're trying to accomplish here. Yay! How's that look on camera? It looks great. I wonder if I put a little black on those little starbursts that I just did, they might show up better on the camera. If I had more water on my brush, it might be smoother. Yay, live videos. You can watch me all paint and struggle and have fun. The main thing is having fun. But these little starbursts with the laying the glitter down first look really nice. Anyways, there we go. That's a pretty cool little design. I'm super in love with my new little hearts and stars scatterings that I've got on this pony stencil. If you see, they're tipped, right? So you can flow around the face. Like this would look really good just along the sides, like if your eye was here and you're just doing like on the cheekbone or like framing out a mask. But this is different, and I wanted to make different kinds of stencils for you guys, because I mean, there's just like everybody's making a stencil these days, and they're just replicated over and over and over and over again. And I want to have some like different stuff for you guys, because that's the whole point of being a creator, you know, is being able to create different stuff. So here's the kits we used: pets, the unicorn from the pets, and one of the wings from the butterfly. And you can, and if you order them, there's a little free gift that I give out with them. There's another little scattering of hearts and stars, super pretty. You could see how you could just fit this about anywhere on a design. And also the beautiful thing about using stencils like this is consistency. So if you're painting with other artists and you're working a bunch of people on the job, and even if maybe you buy a couple of sets just for yourself, to use with other people, maybe you guys' unicorns aren't so hot, you know, maybe your unicorn's awesome but theirs isn't, or you know, their butterfly's completely off the chart but yours is still a struggle. You know, when you do this kind of stencil working, you can have consistency across the board with your painting, and clients really appreciate and love that. So which one did we paint here today? This is the one we painted on camera. This is the one I did last night for practice. I practiced it a couple of times just to make sure it would turn out. So tell me what you think. I also painted one that's like a sideways one. Hold on a second. Where is that demo? It's on my practice sheet still. Yeah, look at this. Okay, hold on. I'm making this video even longer, but I wanted to show you guys, even with like a one-eye butterfly kind of style. Look at that. So just the wing tucked in behind like that, and there she is again. So lots of different ideas, you guys. Let me turn this camera around so I can say goodbye. And goodbye. Have fun. Let me know how it goes. Any questions, comments, concerns, just hit me up. I'll be answering everything for you guys. So take care. Love you. Bye.